Welcome to the Relationship Recovery Podcast, hosted by Jessica Knight, a certified life coach who specializes in narcissistic and emotional abuse. This podcast is intended to help you identify manipulative and abusive behavior, set boundaries with yourself and others, and heal the relationship with yourself so you can learn to love in a healthy way.
Thank you for being here today. I've been thinking about this a lot and I wasn't sure how to frame it, but I was talking to my business coach who hasn't been in a narcissistic relationship and hasn't been in an abusive relationship. And when we talk through some of the items that I bring to the sessions, it made me realize that how unique this is and how if you're not in it, if you're not experiencing it, it can feel very alien. And it's hard to really grasp why it's so hard to break free for somebody who doesn't experience it. And when I talk to people that are in it, we use the same language, we say the same things, and we kind of take some of the same strategies to overcome it. And so I wanted just to take time or take this episode to talk about what it feels like to be in a narcissistic relationship. And it feels like you're living in a purgatory. Like that's what it feels like. It feels like you're living in a purgatory. It's as if every move that you make, everything that you think, every idea that you have, every success that you want to celebrate is less than. It's watched. It's through a magnifying glass. It's as if you can't move through the world like a normal person. And if you're not being controlled physically, you're being controlled mentally a lot. And when you're not controlled mentally, they try and control you mentally. And so you're constantly in this war of trying to get to this place where you set yourself free and that you can live like a normal person and sit on a beach without overthinking. And for a lot of us, we can't. And that feels like pure bliss. Escaping from the thoughts or having space from the thoughts is actually very challenging. It's one of the most challenging things is because the moment that you relax, it's almost like the moment that they can take advantage of you, the moment that everything that you thought will fall apart. And it almost doesn't matter how well you're doing or how by the book you're playing or how you're parenting. It's through their lens. It will always be wrong. It will always be twisted. And it makes it challenging to even feel heard or begin to have a conversation or to try to explain your point of view because your point of view doesn't matter to them. Your point of view is seen as in conflict with them. And it only matters in so much as it serves their point of view. Because the lens of a narcissist is all through control. It's actually everything is based around them maintaining their sense of control. And when they lose control is when they really, it's not even that they fall apart. It's almost like they amp everything up when they feel like that. They have that loss of control. It's never ending. And because you feel like you can't talk to them, you can't work with them, you can't have your point of view heard, it's contrary from the human experience, I think. And it's contrary from, every relationship book. It's why relationships with narcissists don't work and why couples therapy with narcissists doesn't work. It's because your point of view is only valid so much as it serves theirs. And so, I think about the conversations I have with my boyfriend now, who is not a narcissist by any stretch of the imagination. And he wants to hear me and he wants to help me. And he really does care about being a good partner. He really does care about helping me succeed. And it's just such a different feeling than I've had in other relationships. And the narcissist will have you believing that everything's your fault. And that's just not what happens in a healthy relationship. But when you're in it, you forget what healthy looks like. You don't have a frame of reference for what healthy looks like. And one of the biggest things that helped me heal through a variety of relationships was understanding that this person was not going to change. And if they were not going to change, and if this pattern kept repeating itself, and if you can see yourself in the pattern, I've done a podcast on the cycle of abuse. I've done one on the narcissistic cycle of abuse. Well, if you can see yourself in it, That's actually the first step to freedom because it depersonalizes it. When we're in a healthy relationship and we are upset or frustrated with our partner typically cares and wants to help. When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, they don't care. You're wrong for having those feelings because they're in conflicts from the narcissists. And so I invite you to really ask yourself if you're living a free life. Are you living a life that you feel like you can expand, that you can live, or are you not? Do you feel like all your actions are under a microscope? Do you feel trapped? Does listening to this feel really resonant? Because you are very much not alone, but it's also very much not what healthy looks like. And if you need support, you can reach out for a clarity call. I'm scheduling into September at this point, and you can follow me at Emotional Abuse Coach and at Jessica Knight Coaching. I hope this helped you in some way.